Welcome to Fractal Findings. I'm Alethea M., and the topic for today's episode, Icosahedrite. How do you make the impossible possible? When do you stop believing in the possible? When do you stop trusting in life? When does your distrust drag you into an incoherent loop of self-destruction? And what does it mean for a system to self-destruct? Is there a connection between destruction and doubt? Is there a connection between doubt and confusion? For a system to decohere, it must move from a position that was once in order. A system that was once coherent and connected to a system that is now separate, confused, and corrupted. Systems are everywhere. Systems bring order to chaos. To say that a system is corrupted or in a state of confusion is to say that the system is being controlled by a polarity. The polarity of the inside and the outside, of the low and the high, of the hot and the cold, of the right and the wrong, of the masculine and the feminine, of the good and the bad, of the shadow and the light. But for a polarity to exist, there must be something both inside of the polarity and outside of the polarity. There must be an experiencer inside of the polarity and an observer witnessing the polarity from the outside. An author who writes a book creates characters, plots, dilemmas, and storylines. The characters in the book are very real to the individual who reads the book. But outside the book, the characters, the plots, and the storylines have no real physical form. The only form these characters have is in a person's mind. But what exactly is a mind? Usually, when you refer to a mind, there is a connection to thinking. But what is thinking? What are thoughts? Thoughts are audible expressions of an indwelling presence. To have thoughts, the indwelling presence must have awareness. To be aware, you must have a body. Or do you? Can you hear a sound and not know where it originated? Can you see an image without having light? Can you see an image in the darkness? To see in the darkness is to see with the inner light of illumination. The inner light of illumination is the 64th gene key, and the essence of illumination lives as a seed in the shadow of confusion. Once confusion is allowed to settle and is embraced with softness, then the creative energy that was buried within it is released. The shadow then transforms into the gift. The gift of this gene key is expressed as the genius of imagination. And this gift of imagination is expressed as a binary code within a system of consciousness called the gene keys. The binary is between imagination and inquiry. Inquiry is the gift of the 63rd gene key. Inquiry and imagination are programming partners. Truth is the essence of the 63rd gene key. Illumination is the essence of the 64th gene key. Truth and illumination are programming partners. Doubt is the shadow of the 63rd gene key. Confusion is the shadow of the 64th gene key. Doubt and confusion are programming partners. To see with the inner light of illumination, you must transform the shadow of confusion into the gift of imagination and experience the inner light of truth. Doubt and confusion are transcended in their respective codon rings. the codon ring of divinity, and the codon ring of alchemy. Codon rings are chemical families within a physical human body. There are 21 codon rings, and each codon ring relates to a specific amino acid or stop codon. To quote the Glossary of Empowerment written inside of the Gene Keys book, the codon rings are transgenetic chemical families that operate across entire gene pools, drawing certain people naturally together in pairs, groups, and ultimately forming whole societies. The codon rings are the biological machinery of karma. The manner in which they interlock forms the geometric unified field that underpins humanity. As human DNA mutates in order to carry the higher frequencies that are coming with the Great Change, the 21 codon rings will bring humanity into the biological realization of its true nature and unity. A codon, specifically, is a section of DNA made up of 3 base pairs, which codes for a specific amino acid. There are 64 codons in human DNA. The 64 gene keys allow you to directly communicate with the 64 codons in the DNA of every cell in your body through the law of resonance. Through contemplation, absorption, and embodiment of the gene keys, you will raise the frequency of vibration in the 64 codons, thus unlocking the secrets of your higher nature. From codon rings to codons, there's a final definition from the Glossary of Empowerment that will help you learn how to see in the dark. It's called the etheric body, and it is sometimes known as the etheric double. It is the counterpart of your physical body, extending out beyond it into the aura. As the closest of the subtle bodies to the physical, the etheric body consists of a vast network of subtle pathways or meridians, which create the fundamental grid of the aura. Illness and disease in the physical body first manifest through blockages in these inner energetic pathways. However, the root of all human illness does not lie in the etheric body. It is found deeper in the astral or mental bodies. As you purify your astral and mental bodies, your etheric body is directly impacted, and blockages to the flow of chi or prana are cleared. This releases a huge amount of healing energy and vitality into your physical body, which over time becomes lighter, healthier, and more radiant. Let's pause for 3 seconds. A pause creates space. A pause creates space to find connections. A pause creates space to see. Can you find a connection between codons, codon rings, confusion, doubt, and consciousness? Whenever you are confused, you naturally become lost. Whenever you are in doubt, you naturally become blind to perceiving higher realities. How do you transcend the shadow states of confusion and doubt? How do you find the correct path out of the negative biofeedback loop of these 2 programming partners? One way is to find a system that resonates with something that will bring clarity to your mind. The clarity brings comfort. The comfort relaxes the mind. Whenever the mind is relaxed, then the body is relaxed. Whenever the body is relaxed, then the mind is allowed to play, explore, and create. When the mind is allowed to play and explore, then the mind is allowed to express the genius of imagination and inquiry through a physical instrument called the human body. The mind may be invisible, but the mind is an instrument. The mind is a spiritual instrument. It is a subtle body specifically coded by your own pattern of thinking. The mind is the mental body. The mind contains the emotional body. The emotional body is the astral body, and this is a subtle body that has an invisible form, specifically coded by your own patterns of feelings. You have patterns of feelings, and you have patterns of thoughts. There is a lower mind, and there is a higher mind. The lower mind finds its identity in the astral body. The higher mind finds its identity in the heart. What is the connection between the mental body, the astral body, and the physical body? The connection itself, the etheric body, the invisible copy of your physical body, the interconnected invisible energetic highways that transcribe your patterns of thoughts and feelings into patterns of behaviors and actions. Your behaviors and actions create the reality of your truth. The reality of your truth is created by the reality of your relationships. And it is in the nature of relationships where you will find the true magic of the gene keys. It is the magic of higher intelligence. The Gene Keys book is a transmission of higher consciousness. It is a catalyst for self-illumination. Once you are able to see the inner light of illumination and feel the inner light of truth, then you are able to make the impossible possible. Quasicrystals were once thought to be impossible by the scientific community. The five-fold symmetry of quasicrystals was considered a forbidden form for atomic arrangements. But what traditional scientists misunderstood is that five-fold symmetry is inherent within all of nature itself. Pentagonal symmetry forms celestial matter. This is the matter of the ether. This is the matter of the prima materia in alchemy. This is the fifth element. This is the element of the unified field. This is the matter that consciousness uses in order to create the world of physical matter. These quasicrystals were abstract and mysterious. And whenever something is abstract and mysterious, it is either reduced to a state of confusion or a state of doubt. If you try to convince the traditional scientists about a greater truth, it is either rejected or labeled as illogical. Once duality is transcended, then the magic of consciousness can be expressed as divine logic or higher intelligence known by the name of love. Icosahedrite was the first natural quasicrystal to be discovered on Earth. But this crystal was not formed on Earth. It was seeded by a parent asteroid that currently lives in the asteroid belt orbiting our sun. The icosahedrite has an extraterrestrial origin. The icosahedrite has its home in the cosmos. Cosmos is Greek for order. If you are able to see the inner light of illumination and feel the inner light of truth, then the universe is composed of infinite orders of beauty and unity, and the magic of consciousness lives and breathes inside of every orbiting planet, asteroid, comet, nebulae, and star that illuminates our ethereal galaxy. Our living, breathing galaxy filled with intelligent life. Our intelligent, conscious universe built by the element of love. If you enjoyed this episode of Fractal Findings, please go to ourquantumnest.com/luminous-listener. Subscribe to join a movement for collective change. To learn more about quasicrystals and the gene keys, read the Quantum Chronicles blog and leave a question or comment. Follow us on Instagram @ourquantumnest. Listen to our other podcasts, The Lux Quadrant and Mystical Musings. For more inspiration, please visit the Quantum Nest gift shop to purchase and download the debut ebook release from Alethea M. Polarity of Light, Contemplations and Poems of Time Space 1. Thank you for listening. Find the patterns. Change the heart. See the patterns. Change the scars.